Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. On Bold and the Beautiful, it won't be long before Steffy Forrester, Jacqueline Messinswood, and Ridge Forrester, Thorsten K, get back control of the family business. And when they do, they're going to make 7 huge changes that stun everyone. Let's go through what's ahead when the Forresters are back in power and they clean house at Forrester Creations, FC. And hey, please click subscribe if you're not following us. So, Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor, is drowning in guilt and is almost ready to give Forrester Creations back to his former best friend, Ridge Forrester, Thorsten K. Literally, the only thing standing in the way is Hope Logan, Annika Noel, and while she's going to claw tooth and nail to keep her and Carter in power at FC, her boyfriend, I expect, will cave and roll over. Hope is not going to be able to stop the power transfer back to the company's rightful owners. Once Steffy Forrester, Jacqueline Messinswood, and Ridge Forrester, Thorsten K, retake their rightful places at their family company, a lot of changes are going to be coming. So we're going to talk about 5 shockers ahead that will make it clear the Logans are mostly out, the Forresters are definitely back in, and those that betrayed them will be punished. First of all, I think Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, is going to be demoted, and not just down from where she is now, but demoted to below where she was in the pecking order before the coup began. Obviously, one of the first orders of business is for Steffy to knock Brooke out of her CEO spot that she shares with her dad. So I imagine Brooke is going to be demoted, not back to just being a random executive. They never really defined the role. Ridge was like, I want her part of the executive team, but I don't think there's a title that went with it. But I think she's going to be knocked probably even lower and completely out of the power structure, off of the executive team. Ridge is still fuming at Brooke for betraying him and his family, and their relationship is still over. Ridge still wants nothing to do with Brooke and seems ready to keep moving forward with Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig. In fact, I'd say Brooke would be lucky if a demotion is all she gets because Steffy may pressure Ridge to fire her altogether for taking control during the coup. And you know she wants Brooke completely cut out of Ridge's life, so he's not tempted to go back to her. So, I imagine that Brooke's demotion is the tip of the iceberg. I do expect Ridge to make her pay for her betrayal that she insists was not a betrayal at all. And some other people may lose their jobs on Bold and the Beautiful as well. The second change that seems likely, speaking of people losing jobs, is Hope Logan, Annika Noel, could be fired again. Her line, "Hope for the future," may be tossed out with the trash. You know, they can always repurpose Zend Forrester Dominguez de Metz designs. He's done for another line before. Hope and Carter staged their shocking coup. Steffy, if you remember, cancelled Hope for the future, fired Hope, humiliating her in the process. And that's the main reason Hope wanted to retaliate. So it's safe to say that Steffy is going to want to kick Hope back out to the curb when they get back their power, unless Hope keeping her job is some sort of condition that the Forresters have to agree to get back the company without fighting years in court. I totally expect to see Charlie Weber, Dick Christie, walking Hope to the door again once Steffy and Ridge are back in power. Next, if indeed Hope is fired and Hope for the future is cancelled, what does that mean for Zend Forrester Dominguez de Metz? Steffy already promised when she fired Hope and killed the line that she would make sure Zend had another opportunity at FC. And since he stayed loyal and reported back to the other Forresters during the coup, obviously he will be rewarded. Maybe Zend will get his own fashion line. They could do something cool like give him a custom line, perhaps geared towards high fashion for younger African American consumers. I mean, heaven knows, B&B doesn't write great for its black characters, and they tend to leave them on the back burner. You know, this coup thing has pulled Carter onto the front burner, when he's usually been almost an ancillary character most of the time. So that would be nice. Zend is an extremely talented designer, and if he does get his own line, one of the first things he could do is bring in a top designer to work alongside him. Maybe another Forester that we've not seen in a while, but that Zend likes to collaborate with. And that takes us to our next point. Another sweeping change that may blindside fans once Steffy and Ridge are back in charge is that they could bring Thomas Forrester, Matthew Atkinson, back from France to work at the main office again. If you remember, Ridge raged again at Brooke, recently saying that Hope used Thomas. Well, if Hope's out the door, Steffy and Ridge may want Thomas back in the door. Clearly, Steffy doesn't want Thomas around Hope, but if Forrester Creations winds up being a Hope-free zone, you never know. Thomas may return to work on Couture or another line. I'm guessing he has no interest in Brooke's bedroom. I'll say that. We could even see Thomas getting a line of his own, a men's line for stylish go-getters in their 30s. Plus this way past time Matthew Atkinson came back to B&B. Alright, the final thing I want to talk about is what's going to happen to Carter. Ridge and Steffy may change their minds about firing Carter and keep him around, give him another chance depending on what he's willing to sacrifice to prove that he regrets what he did, and that he is loyal, because the writers are of course trying to make this all Hope's fault. That's why we keep hearing Ridge saying it over and over and over. The writers are scapegoating her, and because of that, there's clearly a way forward for Carter to remain close to the Forresters, even though he stole their company. Maybe Ridge decides Carter, has to give back the LLC and gets demoted back to corporate lawyer, and that's on a probationary basis. And then if he proves himself loyal, maybe Steffy and Ridge will later give him back the CEO slot. I mean, heck, if Carter does what Ridge told him to do and dumps Hope and gives back the company, they might even let Carter stick around and resume the COO role. I mean, obviously, I think everything has to be probationary with him. They got to keep an eye on him, but I think he could earn his way back in their good graces without getting fired. It also looks like Daphne Rose, Muriel Hilar, is sticking around as Carter's next love interest. She's got a cast photo, she's on the press site, she's still filming, so I think she will be able to keep an eye on him for Steffy and Ridge as well. And all of that could lead to Carter earning back Ridge's trust. Things, are finally looking up for the Forresters on Bold and the Beautiful. By the end of this week and early into next week, we're going to see Hope making a desperate last grab to keep power, because she knows that Steffy and Ridge shoving her mom out of the CEO seat and retaking it is the worst thing for her. And it's not going to be long until we find out exactly how bad it gets. Steffy and Ridge have had quite a while to consider what they'll do differently and how to punish the coup crew. So big changes are coming, and that's bad news for at least one Logan, maybe more.